So, you've heard of the Mad Gasser of Mattoon, is that correct?
Yeah.
And would you fuck him?
Probably not. I know you know a lot more about this subject than I do, or about the Mad Gasser, not about fucking cryptids, but, well,
Mothman sucked my dick behind the Arby's.
I'm aware of this. So, to start this out with a little more, I guess, composure, what's your favorite cryptid?
I have so many favorite cryptids.
I mean, same.
That's such a loaded question.
You know I have a favorite, I'm not sure. Is yours just the Mad Gasser of Mattoon?
Well, I don't really know if the Mad Gasser really counts as a cryptid. He's more of an urban legend. But, I mean...
There's like a blurry line between there.
I do love the Mad Gasser, and I really like the octopus of Oklahoma, but that's purely because I have, like, local connections to both.
Right.
So I think that they're really interesting.
Yeah, I don't have any local cryptid connections. I never learned about that when I was a kid, and then moved, so no idea.
To be the basic bitch that I am, I really think that my favorite cryptid is probably Mothman, just for the memery of it.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I like the idea of the Goat Man, but Mothman's just great.
Well, I'm glad that we can agree on that.
So, like, if you were going to pick a cryptid, like, on a scale from like local legend Mad Gasser to Mothman, like, what cryptid would you be? Not necessarily your favorite, just which one would you be?
Oh.
Because I feel like I might be the Jersey Devil, just because it's a little weird and it's just, like, out hunting woods and shit. Like, same. I feel that.
I mean, honestly, I could see myself as either, like, Mothman, or as, like, the Owl Man, or as, like, a cave demon somewhere, because I'm just, like...
Definitely cave demon.
But I do relate to the Mothman, because I feel like...
No, I get that.
That, like, sense of, I'm just gonna get in this tree and just watch people is honestly a mood for me. You know me.
I like to think I would be the Mothman, but there's no way I would actually be the Mothman.
I see a tree and I just climb that shit.
That's
but
true,
also,
I've seen this firsthand.
I feel like I have that roguish behavior that is the, Mad Gasser of Mattoon, because I'm just like this spooky dude who no one really knows if they're real or not, and that's me.
That's true.
Does anyone know if I'm real? I don't even know if I'm real.
We're just gonna get super existential in the first episode. You mentioned roguish nature. We're gonna have to talk about D&D stuff in the next one, and we'll do our classes and stuff, because that would be very interesting to talk about. Mostly because I just have to talk about D&D, like, once every couple days, or I'll just die.
Yeah, it's true. Faith will die. So, speaking of cryptids, obviously the most well-known, I think, cryptid is either Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster.
True. And you have a professor who wrote a book about Bigfoot, right?
Yes, I do. I don't
know what that was called.
I'm a junior journalism major, and so my instructor, I have a journalism class with a guy named Joe Jasandi, and he wrote a book called Monster Trek, and it's about the search for Bigfoot.
Which sounds awesome. Because isn't it also, like, people's perceptions of the hunt for Bigfoot and, like, why it's such a thing?
I think so. I actually haven't read it firsthand,
okay.
but...
just from what you had mentioned about it.
Joe is a super cool dude. # sponsor us, Joe. You've been telling us in class that we need to start a podcast, so now I'm starting a podcast.
Oh, really? Is that where this came from?
No, this is not where that came from.
Okay, I was going to say, we just started talking about this, but I've never had a professor tell me to start a podcast.
Well, he tells everyone to start podcasts. He's like, we want to have a podcasting class, and we want to do all this stuff. It's like
kind of like our nonfiction class, where she always tells us, like, write down everything we ever talk about as a story.
Yes, that's exactly what it is, yeah.
Nice. That's the most stereotypical writing class ever.
We're eventually going to do an episode that's about, like, books that our professors have written.
Oh, yeah, we're probably just going to read, like, the first chapter and, like, the back of the book and just try to give an impression, because they're going to be a lot.
Yeah.
We're at a university now.
I work at a bookstore, and I found a copy of a book from one of the professors here, and I think he's a pretty cool dude, and I want to read a short story collection. Hell yeah.
Oh, it's a short story collection?
Yeah, it's called 1,000 Distant Radios.
Oh, that's a different one. Okay, yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it's Dr. Skinner's.
Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds really... Yeah, that's something I would read, definitely. I love short story collections. We should just link, like... Yeah, because Bob's Bookstore has a website, right?
We have a Facebook page.
Or a Facebook page, yeah. We should link that, and then this book that we're talking about. Just because... Or the couple books that we're talking about. So you can read them before we review them.
I work at this really awesome bookstore in town called Bob's Bookstore.
It's great.
And the owner, Joe, used to have a bookstore in Chicago called Myopic. And it's a pretty well-known bookstore, actually. It's pretty cool. But it's a really cool bookstore. He's a really cool dude. If you're ever in the area, I highly recommend you check it out, because it's just we've got everything organized really well, and it's just kind of a cool place to just look around and hang
and
out.
It's right on the main road, so it's really easy to find, and everything's pretty cheap. And you have how many books?
Well, when we did inventory,
Well, yeah,
we
the
had
general number that
57,697, I think, or something around that.
There's so many. It's really cool.
And that was in
It's a nice place.
early January, and we've definitely superseded. No, we had 59,000. Sorry, 59,000, not 57,000. We have definitely superseded 60,000
Forgot
at this
about
point.
a couple thousand there. You know.
Yeah, no, I was confused because I got the
No,
9s
you're
mixed around with 7s, as you do.
We've kind of gone off on a tangent. We'll just say that Joe is also a cryptid and move on from there.
Is Joe a cryptid? I mean...
I don't know, because most people don't know about the bookstore.
To be fair, everyone walks in and is like, "Hey, Bob," and he's like, "I'm not even Bob."
That's true.
So
in a way, he's like kind of a local cryptid. Also,
great.
just because I remember before you worked there and I knew you and went there regularly, or semi-regularly, like I do now. I had gone there back when I wasn't living here, and like during the course of like the 10 minutes that I talked with him, learned like his entire life story, and it was so strange, but it was really nice.
And you
was like, all right,
you think that you've learned his entire life story, but
yeah,
you
but
really
haven't.
don't learn his entire life story until you talk to him over the course of several weeks.
It was literally just because I commented on like, I don't know, there was like some piece of furniture or something, and he told like the whole story of how he got. I was just like, okay.
You'll have to ask him about the gorilla head.
Okay, I will do that. But yeah, back to our original topic. We were gonna go over like weird cryptids, and the only one I could think of off the top of my head was the Ohio Frogman one, which I don't remember the actual name of it.
So I actually
I don't know. I should know more cryptids. I've listened to so much of lore, of the podcast lore, and I just don't remember any of it because it's been like a year.
Were we going to talk about local cryptids, or were we going to wait for that one?
We kind of went over that. We went over Mad Gasser, and like you mentioned the octopus. If you want to talk about the octopus and Mad Gasser more, we can do that.
I mean, I need to talk about the Mad Gasser.
Because I know you literally wrote an article on the Mad Gasser last semester, right?
I've written multiple things on the Mad Gasser.
Right.
Unfortunately, none of them are published officially. The only one that is even semi...
you should write your own book.
I'm contemplating it. The one that is semi with that is the one that I wrote for a class at the community college we went to.
Okay.
And actually, our sociology instructor asked me if he could have a copy of my paper that I written for a Myths and Legends class, because he was the one who had introduced me to the Mad Gasser of Mattoon.
He's the first one who ever told me about it, and I ever heard in his class about that. I had never heard of the Mad Gasser before. I was like, I should have known this. Like, I'm not in this area usually, but like semi in this area.
So the community college that we went to is in a little town called Mattoon, Illinois, and
it's not that little.
I mean, it's...
I'm from Ramsey.
Yeah, you're from Ramsey, I'm from Windsor.
There are fewer than 1,000 people.
And I'm not originally from this area. I'm originally from up north.
I'm from Indiana.
In a bedroom community of Chicago.
I don't have a background here at all.
But there's this really interesting story in the town of Mattoon, and it's Mattoon, not Mattoon. The locals will get very mad at you if you mispronounce the name, and it's called the Mad Gasser of Mattoon. And, this was right after, it was during World War II, I believe.
I think
so. Am I right? I think it was World War II. I don't remember off the top of my head, and I do not have my paper.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds right.
Let me pull up my paper so that I can get a general, quick overview on it, just to make sure that I'm getting you all the correct information, because it's very important. Because the Mad Gasser is one of the most interesting local legends that I've ever heard about. And
it is really, it's so strange. Because most of them follow, a similar trope of some kind. This one's just so weird. When I first heard about it, I was like, who just came up with, how did this happen? Because it's like it's written off as a mass hallucination thing, right?
Yeah, it's written off as, it's actually a, mass hysteria. It's
hysteria.
It's cited in a lot of, sociology and psychology textbooks as
just how
an
weird
actual event of mass hysteria.
Universal it kind of was, or, small town Universal, but a lot of people were involved in it.
So the story of the Mad Gasser began on August 31st of 1944. That morning, a man woke up and felt sick, and his symptoms indicated he might have suffered a gas poisoning. And he checked that his wife hadn't left the stove on. However, that same morning, when he went to go check on his wife, she said that she was paralyzed. She couldn't move anything. She couldn't do anything.
There were people who were just there and couldn't move, and they kept seeing, a figure outside the window or something.
And there was a similar incident with another woman in town on the same morning who said that she woke up and she was paralyzed. And it was a temporary paralysis. And so this was on August 31st. So the next day, the first recorded incident took place. And this was with a woman named Bert Kearney. And she was at home, and she noticed a smell, and it smelled like cheap perfume. And
I'm just
she was
imagining
in-
waking
she,
up
like,
and being
walked
like,
into
that
her-
perfume's not that expensive. Not some cheap-ass perfume. I smell that.
she was in her living room, and she was just in there, and the longer she waited, she was like, it was getting stronger. And she went around looking for the source of the odor, and then all of a sudden her lower back and legs were numb. Like, she couldn't move. And she said she suffered dry mouth, a sore throat, chapped lips, and she became very vocal at this point, and she was screaming, and her neighbors showed up. And they called the police, and they didn't find anything around or near the house.
Well, yeah, wasn't it? People kept seeing figures, but they never found, like, the footprints or anything?
Yeah, so I'm going to get into that, because it's later that day when her husband returned home from work. He said that he saw a really tall man
Right.
in a black coat near the windows. And then he chased him off, and they called the police again. Then within that week, 4 more attacks were reported. All of the victims complained of a sickeningly sweet odor that caused them to become sick and slightly paralyzed for up to 30 minutes at a time. By the 5th, another family would return home, and they would find a handkerchief on their front porch. And when the wife picked it up to smell it, because she was like, oh, I'll see what's going on here,
That was a bad idea in these
she-
situations.
immediately felt nauseous and displayed symptoms of an allergic reaction. So after this, the citizens were obviously a little freaked out.
Well, yeah.
And what's really interesting is, in the locations of these homes and stuff, is you can go to Mattoon, which is like a 10-minute drive away from where we're currently at, and you can see a lot of these the homes that are still there, and you can
I've never actually been there,
you
as far
can
as I'm aware.
go down the streets and stuff, and it's like, this is the street that this happened on. This is
Nice.
what happened, and it's really interesting.
That's really cool.
So locals took to the streets, and they armed themselves. More reports came in, and sightings, as well as more gassings, which they could never confirm about the gassings, because it was...
Well, yeah, it was
They
always
couldn't
just
find-
people saying that they felt paralyzed or smelled it, but like they could never find anything tangible. Like there was never a way to be like, oh yeah, okay, we're gonna... Like, they never caught the figure, they never found... I guess more things like the handkerchief, but like something more solid in the house.
Yeah, they never found anything really big in there. Like, they never actually caught anyone. They had a couple of suspects, but no one that they
Yeah.
could, like, confirm as to who they were. By the 10th of August... No, by the 10th of September... 10th of September, the FBI arrived on the scene. Like, they called in the Federal
I
Bureau
love
of
that.
Investigation.
I love it. It's like, alright, we have like a couple people who have seen this ominous figure that we've never
Well,
caught.
people were on the streets, like, with guns and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they were, like, out, and they were, like, ready to, like, throw down with
Well,
someone.
I mean, it is semi-rural Illinois, and it was Mattoon, so I'm not really surprised. From what I know about Mattoon, the people are immediately like, alright, we're gonna go kill this thing, and like,
Well,
didn't even have an actual...
Mattoon has a lot of weird stories.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's the Omega scam.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one.
There's a
Wait,
lot
is
of
it the
different
tinfoil
things.
one?
Yes, the tinfoil
Oh, I
money.
love that. We'll have to talk about that
With
one some other
Ascendant
time.
Master Jesus.
Yes! I forgot about that one. This is all from our Soch class, which is
Yeah.
a great teacher for that.
He was a great
Told us
teacher.
some fun stories.
And so the main goal of the FBI in town was to identify what gas was being used. And to keep locals off the streets, because you
Yeah.
can't... Vigilante
not gonna
justice
end
is
well.
not something that's allowed. More reports came in, less evidence turned up, and authorities were forced to turn their attention elsewhere.
Yeah.
The last recorded incident took place on the 13th, and those who were targeted claimed it was a woman in men's clothing. It was a woman in men's clothing.
Was that like they actually saw like the face, or was it just like a smaller figure that they assumed was...
I don't remember exactly. Let me pull up my other...
Because I know there are
Thing?
times, like when you read historical stuff, where it's just like if a dude was more like small in stature and more feeble, they're like, oh, maybe it's a woman wearing man's clothing. Like I don't know if they.
I think it might have been that.
Okay, because I don't know. Like they may have actually seen like a really feminine face or something.
And he's also known as the anesthetic prowler. And
That's interesting.
Another-
That one's way more ominous.
another
oddly
really
enough.
interesting thing about this is, before this one took place, about 15 years, before the one in Mattoon, there was an almost identical incident in a town in Virginia.
Oh, that's cool.
And
That's weird. but
exact
cool.
same, like, symptoms, all this stuff.
Same general, like, MO.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if you don't know the suspect and it's a little inconsistent, but, like, you know, it's an MO.
And there wasn't as much media coverage of that one, obviously, because otherwise we would have heard about it more so.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
So one resident of Mattoon claimed that it was, whose father was alive during the hysteria, claimed that it was a mentally ill brother of 2 sisters in town.
Okay. Did you end up actually talking to someone who lived there?
I was going to, and this guy I was talking to.
Oh yeah, and he just died.
It was a woman, and yes, she had died a few months before I was I went to go talk to this guy, and he was like, film? Usually I would, he said, usually I would direct you to this woman. She's like the expert on this.
Yeah.
I think her mom or something had been alive during the incident,
Okay.
or she was really young, and when I talked to him, he had said that she had just passed away.
Yeah.
He was like, usually I direct you to her, but she passed away a few months ago.
If this is a horror film, that would be the most ominous thing. Like, alright, this has happened twice before, I'm gonna go track it. There's one person still alive, and then you go to talk, and it's like, she's dead. She can't talk to you.
So, one of the most widely accepted things by sociologists and psychologists and general government things in law enforcement was that the anesthetic prowler or the mad gasser of Mattoon was a result of mass hysteria.
Which I can totally understand. While, like, you're telling me the story again in full, I've just heard bits and pieces of it, where, like, one person may have had just an incident happen, but word would have spread among that neighborhood pretty quickly, and other people would have been like, anything that went wrong, it was like, oh, it's the same thing. And, like, the handkerchief may have been someone, like, trying to mess with them, may have just been something, like, unimportant that they attached to it, like... I totally get that. And, like, seeing a figure is 100% something that would happen with a mass hysteria. Like, if you're expecting, like, even if someone walks by or if there's no one there, you're gonna be like, I saw a figure at the window.
I saw a figure at the window, and now, or you say you see a squirrel and you think it looks like a person. Like, they're just in the window. And
you just see, like, shadows
then all of
from
a sudden,
tree.
you think you smell something, and...
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't feel my legs.
Like, those are such specific, like, small things. Like, seeing someone out a window smelling something weird. Like, those can easily be translated into, like, this is the same thing someone else experienced. Mass hysteria.
And so, the events of this
Oh, and also, we're not
incidents.
Soc majors or psych majors, so we've taken some classes. This is just our theories on stuff.
The events also directly followed releasing of information on gas chambers that were being utilized in Germany as World War II raged on in the background. This was the backdrop of this whole incident was
so
World War II.
there was already that public anxiety, and then this would have happened.
And then
just exacerbate that a bit.
Another thing that exacerbated this was a lot of sociologists as well as law enforcement looked to the Journal Gazette as sensationalize the incidents.
Oh yeah.
Because like the first instance of it was Mrs. Kearney and daughter first victims, or Mad Gasser first.
It immediately picked up on the, like, there will be more victims. This is a string of events thing.
Yes. Let me see if I can find the exact headline.
I mean, that's a thing that still happens a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it was stuff like that. Headline printed the day after Kearneys reported their attack, the incorrectly labels the Kearneys as the first victims of the gasser, implying that there might be more. It is believed that anxiety about the ongoing war and fear of the Axis powers and the technologies being utilized in the fighting made people jumpy and caused a bout of mass hysteria in the town, according to Otwell in a book in 2016. Of course, this doesn't explain the near-identical incident that confounded people of the Virginia town.
Sure.
But that might have been where it started. One person learned.
Again, we're just referencing Zoe's paper.
I'm looking at my paper with all of my citations and stuff.
Yeah, and, like, compiled all this information and stuff. Again, we're just referencing Zoe's paper.
I'm looking at my paper with all of my citations and stuff.
Yeah, and, like, compiled all this information and stuff.
It is an urban legend of this area, and it's just it really got me into, like, the idea of cryptids.
Yeah.
Especially, like, local cryptids. And I really like doing local history, like, digs, because I think it's really interesting. Like, what kind of crazy stuff happened here?
I would like to just go explore, like, abandoned places. That's more my thing. I like the aesthetic of, like abandoned places and taking pictures and stuff. You're more into the actual history of, like, things that have happened.
And I like to look at, like, the sociological phenomena around them. Like,
I wish I'd taken more Soc classes. Like, I was mostly in psych. And, like, psych's alright. Soci's alright. They disagree in some places. They have their merits.
And the Mattoon Public Library, which is where I got a lot of this information, because they keep a lot of stuff in their local history center.
Yeah.
They have a whole file on the Mad Gasser incidents. Earlier, when I was doing, I was planning on doing an article for a local...
Yeah, no, I remember you were going to
paper.
go look through some of the reference material.
The local history center, the curator of it in Mattoon is Chris Sherdick, and he was a really nice guy, really willing to talk to me about...
Isn't he, like, the one guy who actually knows anything about this? Is it that?
No, this isn't that guy.
Okay.
He's just a curator of the local history center. Interest in the story comes in spurts, and, like, it really just depends.
Because it's not something that, like, people talk about a lot. I only heard it a couple times from the same teacher back at my last college.
Different times of the year bring in more traffic to the story and interest. But the Mad Gasser has actually, or the idea of the Mad Gasser has been featured in a few instances in pop culture, including podcasts, like our own. There's a few books that talk about an anesthetic
we'll add
prowler.
ourselves to the number now. I'll be surprised if
There's
the lore
even an
hasn't covered
action
it.
figure. There's an action figure for the Mad Gasser of Mattoon.
An action figure?
Yes, it was this British action figure thing. Let me find a picture
Wait,
of it.
why is it British if it...
I don't know. It was this weird thing.
I guess with gas attack idea, it would spread. The news would have spread like that. But that's so weird. We're just looking up pictures of it now.
We'll have to put one internet. No internet. Oh no. Let me connect to the internet.
Yeah, we're working out of a dorm. The college's internet is horrible.
Yeah.
Sometimes
so this is what it looks like.
That's so weird. Oh, so we made a Twitter page.
It was a monster in my pocket. That's what the company was called.
Amazing. So we made a Twitter page. It's at the Roommates Pod, right?
Yes.
And we will put a photo of this. We'll link it to this episode, but we'll also put a photo up of this because it's so weird.
So
on that account.
The monster in my pocket. It was Monster 110, released as part of Series 4.
That doesn't even look like
it doesn't look like it. He has like
it's
tentacles and stuff.
Yeah, it's semi-humanoid. It kind of has a gas mask, but like it also has these weird tentacles and the arms are big and like it's.
I think there was also an X-Files episode about a Mad Gasser.
That wouldn't really surprise me. I'm gonna have to. I'll have to see if lore. We'll talk about other podcasts later. Maybe that might be a thing we do for future episodes. If we talk about lore, I'll see if they have one that mentions that because I've listened to the first like 100 episodes of that and then just hadn't finished it. Highly recommend that if you want to learn about cryptids and ghosts and stuff.
No, it was not mentioned in the X-Files. For some reason I thought it was, but it was not.
Maybe there was just something that was like gas masking and like
probably
that aesthetic to it.
There is also a science fiction novel by Jack Finney called The Body Snatchers, which is, they briefly mention the Mad Gasser.
Okay.
So yeah.
Alright, that's the Mad Gasser.
So yeah, that's
I guess that counts in weird
story.
cryptids. I know you looked up some for this episode and found some really weird ones that I told you not to tell me about because I really want to hear firsthand what they are.
Well, first I think we should look at Indiana cryptids since that's where you're from.
That's true, yeah, because I never knew. I was only a kid when we moved from there, and I don't remember any cryptids. I don't remember that. It's weird because I went to a public school, but I don't remember ever hearing about any weird cryptids or anything. And you had mentioned... what was the one you mentioned? Like a mermaid thing or something?
Yeah, there were mud mermaids.
Right, because I hadn't heard of those.
Indiana, in 1894, 2 Ohio newspapers reported sightings of a creature.
What's the name of the article and site you're quoting from right now? Just for reference.
It's from the Washington Times Herald.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this. According to the Cincinnati Enquirer, and then there's also another one which had it specifically. This is from the newspaper.
Oh, okay, we have the
in
actual article
Ohio
pulled up.
From that newspaper, and I'm going
it's
to
the Ohio River. That makes sense.
Yes, I'm going to.
I didn't know there was some weird shit about the Ohio River, but I don't.
So this is from the article in 1895.
Oh, nice. Okay, this is pretty old.
On a sandbar in the Ohio River near Vevey, Indiana, reside 2 nondescript creatures, horrible in appearance and habit. They are amphibious in nature and resemble in appearance huge lizards with human features.
I don't think I've read the whole thing, but yeah,
that is how this article starts off, which
so
is
creepy.
Just really interesting.
But no, as you're saying this, I feel like I have actually heard of this before.
Possibly.
The 2 creatures along the bank of the river, that sounds familiar. But I also was a bit into history for a while, so maybe... Yeah, the Loveland Frogman is the one that I knew about from a YouTube video thing that some people I watch made about it.
So, he's from Ohio. The Loveland Frog, is from Ohio.
Yeah.
In a town called Loveland. The creature was later identified as a large iguana that was missing a tail.
Oh, I didn't realize they had found it and identified it. That's funny. Okay. I wish more cryptids were like that. A lot of time it's like, it could have been a big bird. It could have been just like a deer. I love the ones where they actually found something like, yeah, it was just an animal. People just wanted to see a cryptid. Because I get that.
The creature, according to various legends,
we're on the Wikipedia page for it now.
Yes, the creature was first sighted in 1855. There are 3 different stories about it. One about a driver who, when he spotted 3 figures on their hind legs on the side of the road.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
About 3 or 4 feet
Just
tall.
a little bit.
And another one, they were spotted under a bridge.
Yeah, it was just a lot of people seeing weird creatures on hind legs that didn't look like they should be humanoid. And being like, that's a big frog.
Maybe it was just a dog that was just like...
A really, really fucked up dog.
A really fucked up dog,
It was a deer trying to be a person that just got caught.
Yes. And then the
you mentioned the owl man.
The lesser known,
I
don't know, I always thought Mothman looked more like an owl to me, but there is apparently an owl man too.
Yeah, no, Owlman isn't, it's more humanoid, right?
Owlman's
more like wings and fuzzy. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess it can be more humanoid, but that's how I see Mothman.
Owlman, resides in Cornwall, England.
Oh, okay, I thought this was another Indiana one.
No.
I don't know why I've heard of this one then.
The first sighting of Owlman took place in 1976.
Oh, that wasn't that long. Okay.
No, but the thing is, Mothman isn't that old either.
Yeah, I knew that one though, because I've done a little Mothman research, as you do in college.
There's also, we were talking about local cryptids. I used to spend my summers in a little town called Kingfisher, Oklahoma, which is about 40 minutes from Oklahoma City, 45 minutes from Oklahoma City.
I don't think I've ever been to Oklahoma, actually.
I don't recommend it.
Okay. I don't recommend going to Ramsey, but I live there sometimes.
But there is a cryptid in a town called Norman, Oklahoma, in Lake Thunderbird, and it is
lake name.
The octopus
Sounds like a fantasy
of
lake.
Oklahoma, or the Oklahoma octopus.
So is it just an octopus, or is it like a creepy monster octopus?
I think it's just a regular octopus.
I love that.
So
because that could easily have actually been something like an octopus that got either transported into or ended up in the lake, and people were just like, it's a cryptid now. Mm-hmm.
So if anyone like myself likes mythology of basically any area, you'll know that the Thunderbird is a bird that obviously they create thunder, and it's from Native American legends, and they're a really interesting story. They're featured in pop culture quite frequently.
I wish I knew more Native American history. So we are learning that in most of my classes right now, which is nice.
Well, actually, in
I just
Indiana,
know Greek and Roman. That's all I got.
In Indiana, there's a park called Holiday World, and they have. I'm
aware. I've been there.
They have a roller coaster called the Thunderbird, and it's named after.
I know
the Thunderbird. Which is
now I'm just thinking about.
It's such a great ride.
I love literally that roller coaster. I thought you were going to talk about more indigenous cultural appropriation stuff in Indiana because it's very bad about it. I went to a camp called Camp Tecumseh as a kid.
Oof.
Yep.
Oof.
It was bad. Each of our cabins were named after indigenous groups. I was in the Sioux cabin. It's the only one I can remember off the top of my head. Yeah, it was bad. White people are racist as fuck.
Yes.
Continue.
I feel like we should preface this with, we are very white, but...
Oh yeah, we're super white, but also white people suck.
Yeah.
Just, there are viewpoints.
Yeah, so...
No, don't appropriate cultures, or be a dick.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
The Oklahoma Monster gained kind of national attention with Animal Planet's Lost Tape episode. There really isn't a whole lot...
I miss Animal Planet.
...on the Oklahoma octopus. There's a little bit of information, but not a whole lot.
I feel like it's just something someone saw once or twice and then just was made into a thing. That sounds like one of the... If there's not a lot of information on it.
Oh, here's an actual news thing from...
Finds octopus. So they did find an octopus?
I guess. Let me see.
Oh, that's cool.
This is in 2017. Mays County, Oklahoma. Quick facts. Officials confirmed that someone found an octopus in Grand Lake, according to this article. Fox 23 News by Greg Brown. And this was in 2017.
Yeah, that's really recent. Okay.
Officials confirmed Wednesday that a local lake goer found an octopus in Oklahoma's Grand Lake.
Okay.
So
I was right. It was just
it wasn't Lake Thunderbird, but it was a thing.
I don't know about Oklahoma. Are those lakes connected at all?
I don't know.
Because there is a possibility it could have been in the Thunderbird one and just had moved through other rivers and stuff and ended up there. How long do octopi live?
According to the Grand River Dam Authority, though, the octopus was part of a seafood buffet.
Oh,
okay. Somebody threw it in the water as part of a joke. Okay.
That's sad.
I thought it was going to be an actual thing.
It may have been that the first time.
That's what it was.
Yeah, it could have been that the first time. Someone just threw an octopus in there and someone saw it while swimming or something and was like, there's an octopus in the lake.
There's an octopus in the lake.
It's a cryptid. It'll kill us.
It's a cryptid. I do love cryptids, not going to lie. Cryptids are great.
I mean, we're kind of cryptids.
Yeah.
We're honestly... In our dorm, it's like, it's all freshmen, and then us, and like a couple people who aren't freshmen.
Mm-hmm.
And I never leave the room.
Yeah, Faith never leaves the room.
Zoe's never here because of like classes and stuff.
And work.
And people
and
always...
I'm at Jamie's all the time.
People always, like, come to us for, like, to borrow, like, cooking utensils and stuff, and, like, if they need something for first aid or whatever, because we're the only ones that were prepared for college life.
Yeah, apparently I'm, like, one of the only people on our floor who has a first aid kit, and it's, like, a huge-ass first aid kit.
Yeah,
like...
no, we brought everything. We have, like, 2 of everything.
Are we good with cursing on this thing? Because I just said ass. Okay, I don't think it matters.
I think I've been cussing.
Okay, well,
I'm fine with
should
that.
we say the 7 dirty words that you can't say on radio, just to make sure that the viewers
That's
know?
a thing?
Yeah, the 7 words you can't say on the radio?
Can I just start cussing? Because I'm assuming one of them is cunt.
Yes.
Okay. That one I never understand why people won't. Because, like, in Britain, it's a normal... It's like us saying fuck.
Yeah.
But here, it's like, that's a horrible thing. Like...
I mean, that is a word that I don't like to say.
I'm not a big fan of it. I like people who reclaim it. Like, if you're actually, like, if you don't have a dick and you use it and it's like, yeah, alright.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't use it a lot, but might as well say it.
So, the original 7 words are as follows.
Wait, motherfuckers on here?
Shit, piss,
tits.
Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits.
So now you know.
Why is tits on there? Tits seems
I don't know.
I mean,
it makes sense. This is probably made back in, like...
I mean, so it has to do with, FCC
really
guidelines,
funny.
because it would have to be, like, after a certain time, because, you know...
I'm
not gonna get into...
it's literally, like, cunt, cocksucker, and then it's just tits.
Tits. Being a journalism student, you learn
We should replace all of our cussing with just tits.
Tits. Mother titter.
I meant replace it with just saying tits, but that works too.
Yes. Of course.
So, there you go.
There's my loud-ass
Yep,
laugh
I
right
saw
there.
that. Yep, we're looking at the actual audio file. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but no, cryptids in our dorm.
Oh, yeah, so we're cryptids.
Yeah, no, I like, people rarely see me, and when I interact with people, it's always super awkward. Because, like, I'll appear in the hallway after not having left the room for 3 days, and it'll just be, like, this really awkward, like, hi, how's it go? I just, like, walk by.
And I've had multiple occasions where I've come into the room and not seen you up in your bed.
Yeah, and I'm
then
just, like, splayed out with one foot hanging over the edge, like,
and I'm, like, living my life, and then you'll say something, and I'll be like, oh, shit!
Yeah, because I can't be
realize you
really
were
quiet.
here.
I do that. I've done that to people at work before. I'll be, like taking out trays or something, and I'll go around a corner, and someone else will go around the corner, and they will not have heard me at all. Like, it's so fun, and they'll just jump, and it's great. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Just a terrifying moment.
Yeah, no, I walk quietly. I did that to some people walking home from work the other day, where it was these 2 guys walking in front of me. I was, like, 10 feet behind them, and I went to take out my keys, and they turned around like, there's someone behind us? And it was so funny. I was like, yeah, it's just me. I'm just quiet.
What else? We had our weekly cryptid thing.
Oh yeah, we did. We had a whiteboard that I brought that we put up on the outside of our door. And last semester for only 3 weeks, but we tried. We did a weekly cryptid where we both tried to draw one cryptid, and then we did little phrases and stuff. And we did Mothman and Goatman, and we ended up with just you hanging from a tree yelling about the Mad Gasser of Mattoon as our cryptid.
Yes, not even the Mad Gasser of Mattoon, just me, because I have a habit.
Yeah, but you had the speech bubble of have you heard the news of our Lord and Savior?
I know that none of you have met me, and that's fine. But
it's cool.
If you ever make it onto Eastern's campus and you see just
a random person hanging from a tree,
tiny angry
just
gremlin
swinging from a branch,
who has thrown themselves into a tree and is swinging violently back and forth, yelling,
"Have
you heard about our Lord and Savior, the Mad Gasser of Mattoon?"
Especially if you see someone wearing a jacket and a beanie just staring emptily in that direction. That's us.
Yeah. It's a good time. College life is all about climbing trees for no reason.
Yeah, of course.
I really enjoy climbing trees. It is a wonderful pastime, and I recommend it to everyone listening.
I haven't climbed a tree since I was a kid.
You're gonna climb a tree.
Oh wait, no, I did recently. I did over break actually. And
I'm gonna make you climb a tree.
Not on campus.
Yes.
Maybe we'll see.
I've got a hammock.
Wait, you have... Well, we also do, but it's at home, and I could take it.
We gotta figure out hammock situation. I want to go hammocking.
I'm just imagining my family actually listening to this and just being like, don't take the hammock. Don't
Well,
steal the hammock.
you can get them at, like, Walmart for, like, $20.
Oh, wait, no, I do have a hammock.
You do?
Yeah. No, I got a hammock. I forgot about that.
Okay.
It's also at home, but I have one that's mine.
Lit. We'll have to do, once it gets warm, we'll go have a hammock and reading day, and
Sure.
we'll do our readings for class and shit outside.
I'm good with that. That sounds fun.
Okay.
So we're gonna...
Oh, the shadow people.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about the shadow people in a later podcast in
Yeah,
detail.
I think they need, like, a full hour to themselves.
Yeah. We'll just say we're haunted by shadow people. That's all I got.
yeah.
Like, I'm not even really big on believing in, like, ghosts and stuff, but, like, we have shadow people on this campus. It's fun.
And whether
Mostly in
it
our
be
room.
just all in our heads,
They're
or
pretty
if it's just
friendly.
kind of like you see something and you're just like, oh, did I see someone or no?
It's
but, like,
fun. It's fun to just pretend that they're shadow people.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had weird fucking dreams when we've been in here that, like, I see the shadow people, which is fun.
Oh, yeah.
So, those are nice. But yeah, we'll talk about them later. But yeah, we're
The
gonna...
shadow people killed Barry.
Oh yeah, no, you killed Barry.
I didn't kill Barry.
Barry was one of my houseplants that Zoe liked to yell at to grow better, and then he died. So, I blame Zoe.
He needed negative reinforcement. The positive reinforcement wasn't working.
Look, okay, all my other plants are doing fine, and I've been positively reinforcing them, and you have stopped yelling at them. I say, just...
Grow better!
Stop.
Grow better, motherfucker!
Oh, look at the
It's
spike
so
in the
loud.
audio. Oh, no.
I'm so sorry. I will fix that.
No, I have like
post.
8 houseplants, and they're not doing well because this building likes to crank the heat up really high for no reason.
And dry everything out.
It's horrible. But yeah, I just had to get rid of one of them last night because it was just a shriveled up husk. But most of them are doing fine.
I have one plant. It's
Yeah,
a little
you have
aloe
an aloe
plant,
plant. I
that
have
Jamie got for me.
I have a couple big jade plants, and then I have a bunch that I have no clue what they are.
My
that I just
significant other does like horticulture stuff. That's their major, and they give me cute plants.
And
it's
also come
adorable.
and look at my plants and just frown.
Yes.
Look
Jamie does come and
disappointed.
look at Faith's
Jamie
plants
just
and just
comes
be
and
like,
looks disappointed.
no.
I try my best. They're fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
But no, we've got a little bit of time left, so let's wrap up with... We thought about talking about this at the end while, like, originally planning this episode, and I think it kind of fits just because of the weird tangents we've gone on. But back to Mothman.
Yes, Mothman, of course. My beautiful man.
Obviously.
My beautiful lover.
I was talking about how to end this episode last night, and Zoe was like, we gotta talk about Mothman's ass.
Yeah, it's the best way to end any episode.
And we looked up, do you have the statue pulled up?
Yes, I can pull it up. Just give me 1 second. Mothman statue.
We'll do an episode talking about weird statues and stuff, just because we found a bunch while looking for this one yesterday, at a later date. But there's a Mothman statue. Where is this?
Here it is. It's in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, I believe.
Right, and there's a Mothman statue where he just got some ass.
Yeah, he's got like a 6-pack.
Yeah, and these like big shoulders, these butterfly-looking
He's
wings.
so buff. Like his legs look like he looks like
Yeah, he's got
like a
chicken.
cyborg.
He's got like chicken feet, but it's like silver and metallic. And then like for some reason they put so much detail into the ass.
Yeah, the ass looks great. Like I just want to slap that thing.
Like
With
it's
his
great.
consent,
Like,
of course.
There are people just touching the ass. There
Yes.
are photos of people just touching the ass. I
It's
love
a
it.
gorgeous ass.
But no, we were talking about
Do you think he could actually fly with those wings? I don't think he could.
no, because they're big butterfly wings, but they have holes in them.
Yeah, he couldn't fly.
Maybe if there was some kind of like film through the holes in them. But like look how solid this dude is. Those wings would not hold him up.
Yeah, no way.
Not even that ass. Like that
That ass.
There's no way. Unless they just grow.
The tag. Did they really? They really
had
did.
to sculpt Mothman's ass on the statue though.
Yes,
Yes.
that ass is
Did
gorgeous.
they really had to? I love grammar.
Mothman's ass is just impeccable.
Well, no, we were discussing Mothman's merits as a lover last night, which is fun, just because of the meme. But like honestly, just
Mothman
like
is
I'm
real.
thinking,
He sucked my dick behind the Arby's. He's
No.
wanted for mail fraud by the CIA.
yeah, I don't remember where I was going with this originally, but yeah, all right,
His merits as a lover.
true. There's so many memes. I love Mothman memes so much.
Oh, I have a wonderful Mothman playlist, by the way.
Wait, a playlist?
Yeah, I have a whole playlist dedicated to Mothman on my Spotify. I think we should
That's
link
wonderful.
it. I didn't even think about that until
But no,
just
I
now.
was talking about Zoe asked if I would fuck Mothman, and I said no. And then they asked if I would fuck Mothwoman, and I was like, probably not. But like I'm good with just cuddling. Like Mothman, I'm thinking not the. It's literally called Mothman Israel. He sucked my dick behind the Arby's, isn't it?
Yeah, and he is wanted
Zoe's
for mail fraud by the CIA.
Zoe's playlist is great.
Yeah.
The X-Files theme, Shia LaBeouf live. Oh god, why? What's Kids Conspire?
It's a good song. It's not like it's the mix of a meme playlist and also like actual music I would listen to while cryptid hunting.
Okay.
But yes, it's a great.
Oh, I like Miss Jackson. I know that one. But no, wait, did you just say you listen to while cryptid hunting?
Yes.
You've cryptid hunted?
No.
I made a list while listening to lore of places I wanted to travel
Definitely
to.
haven't been cryptid hunting before.
I want to. No judgment here. But no, I was talking about how Mothman, like the statue is like this big buff 6-pack dude, and I'm like, I just want like the fuzzy Mothman and just cuddling.
Like
I just
like
want
that
Mothman
moth
to
video
hold
that I
me.
sent you the other day.
Huh?
Like that moth video that I sent you the other day.
Yes.
Isn't he so cute? The big fuzzy moths. I love big fuzzy moths.
I just want big fuzzy Mothman to hold me in his strong arms and cuddle, and I will fall asleep, and it would be nice. That's all I want. That's how I see Mothman.
See, I want big strong Mothman to either like carry me like bridal style, or like or carry me
Superman
like
thing.
Holding me, and I just like plank as we fly through the air.
Yeah.
And honestly,
I feel like I would be terrified to fly if I wasn't the one with wings.
I would trust
don't think I could do
Mothman.
that.
Mothman is the only one I would trust to secure me.
Yeah, no, you're not.
He's the only one who could contain my chaotic energy.
It's the worst way to phrase that.
He's the only one who could contain my chaotic energy in his strong, fuzzy, loving arms.
Alright, I think that's where we're gonna have to end this episode, in the strong, fuzzy arms of Mothman.
Yeah, I do think that's a good place to end. The merits...
That's always a good...
The merits of Mothman as a lover and his gorgeous, shiny ass.
Yeah.
His shiny, gorgeous ass.
Alright,
so
we'll leave you with thoughts and dreams of Mothman, and we will see you in the next episode.
Yeah, we have been your hosts. Did we even introduce ourselves?
Nah, we can do that next time. Or we can put a little intro. Like,
we'll
we
just
can
put
write
a little thing
intro. Yeah.
Here at the end. Hi, guys.
Hi.
This has been me. I am Zoe Donovan. I'm pretty fun, I think. But yeah. So this has been...
It's a dating profile. I'm pretty fun. I like long walks on the beach and the stars.
And climbing trees.
And climbing trees.
So yeah, this has been the Roommates podcast.
I thought I was going to introduce myself and then we were going to say the podcast name, but it's Zoe's podcast. I'm just here.
No, I was going to say you got to introduce yourself now.
Okay. Well, we are the Roommates then, now that we've given it a title. I'm Faith Wellbaum, and I'm also going to Eastern, I guess. I completely forgot what you just said.
All I said was that I was on this podcast.
Okay. Well, we're both college students.
And I'm fun.
And we're roommates. We're both on this podcast, obviously. I don't know if I'm fun, but...
You're fun.
Okay.
We can talk... obviously you're fun. You can talk about the merits of Mothman as a lover.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, how many people can do that? Not many.
Probably not many. I could convince some people I know.
Alright, so right now we are just using Audacity to edit this.
So we'll see how that goes.
But we've got a decent mic, so if anyone has any suggestions for free audio software, like if you want to hit me up, that would be great, because I do know how to use like the Adobe one, but also I don't have the money for it.
Yeah, and I have absolutely no knowledge of editing whatsoever, so...
I've done some editing
Zoe's
before because I've taken...
I'm just doing the organization for episodes, that's what I got.
I had an RTV class at my previous college, and I had to write a radio drama. It was fun.
Yeah, I've listened to it, it's nice.
But maybe we'll do a critique and analysis of that at some point in time.
Yeah, sure.
Of my terrible audio drama.
It wasn't terrible, it's good. It
was gay.
I mean, yeah.
But what isn't of mine? Anyway, that's the tea. Hope y'all have fun. Should we have Danny, like, walk them out?
We're not going to tell you who Danny is. Danny can come back later. Not right now.
Okay. Farewell.
All right.
Have a good day.
See you next time.
Bye.